Hello, my garden friends. This is Jersey Shore Lisa from MyNJGarden.com, and I wanted to show you another of the fruit tree guilds that I have in my front yard food forest here in Ocean County, New Jersey. This is my front yard. That's the street. Obviously, that's my shadow. And just to give you an idea of where we're situated on the property, the house, the rain garden, and the rest of the yard. So this bed here, you can see all these beds are terraced beds. So as the slope goes downhill, the logs that I have that border these beds are situated on the downhill side. They help to catch the runoff, they hold in the mulch, and they keep the nutrients of all that organic matter in the bed where it's needed for the plants. So this bed contains 2 apple trees. Those are the tallest part of the food forest. This one is a Honeycrisp apple tree, and it's blooming happily right now. This is April 27th, 2021. And then right below that, we have a rose that I don't know the variety. It blooms bright pink. This is bronze fennel. So I think fennel is delicious. I eat it often as an herb more than a vegetable. And bronze fennel does not create a big bulb or head at the bottom. It's really just used as an herb in a culinary way. But it does have that dark color to the leaves, and I think it's delicious. You can see there's a lot of foliage happening as a ground cover here, and that's self-seeded cilantro. I planted it probably 3 years ago, and I've never had to plant it again. It comes up year after year, and it comes up multiple times during the season. It's a cold weather crop, so in the heat of the summer it tends to die back, but if it's had a chance to flower and drop its seeds as soon as the weather is right, it'll come back again. So cilantro always lives in this bed. There are iris in the center there, and I didn't put them there on purpose, but I did throw some what I thought were old rhizomes in my compost last year. So iris is kind of coming up everywhere because bits of it got spread around with the compost. There's right there, you can see a leaf coming up, and I put horseradish in that spot last fall, a little piece that I moved from another section of the yard, and up it comes. I'm not upset about it. I know a lot of people tend to be nervous about putting horseradish in the yard, but I think of horseradish much like comfrey. So I'll harvest it if I want to, and I'll dig up a little bit of the roots and harvest it. But I love the happy little white flowers that come up on the top of horseradish in the spring, and the leaves tend to be big and pretty. I can chop and drop them just like comfrey in the food forest. So I welcome horseradish wherever it shows up. I'm also Polish, so I enjoy horseradish as a condiment in my food. So this is a red Leaf Sancheri. This will produce fruit if it has a pollinator close by. There are a couple of other specimens in the neighborhood. I've seen them. They're not too far away from me, but in fact, I know that there's quite a few 2 streets over, but the bees aren't making it here to pollinate. So I don't get fruit on this specimen, but I think it's so pretty, and it's such a burst of red. These leaves do stay red the whole season, so it's just a nice curb appeal kind of a color. I would welcome another red leaf Sancheri into the garden so I can get fruit at some point. I've got my eyes out, and I'll pick one up when I come across it. But this is a peony down here, and we have come to the other apple tree. This is a golden delicious apple, which is said to be an excellent pollinator for almost any other apple tree because the blooming time span is so long. It blooms very early, and those flowers will stay on this tree through the later blooming apples when they bloom. So this is a really nice pollinator because you don't miss the bloom time of your other apple trees, which may be shorter than this one. So Golden Delicious apple, and you can see more cilantro under there. Over here we have a black Aronia berry. Black Aronia berry is a shrub that will probably get to be about twice this size. So this will actually rival the height of the apple trees unless I keep it pruned, which I may. It does flower beautifully, and it's about to do that. So you can see those buds are kind of getting ready to open. It has pretty white bunches of flowers. It's very ornamental. It's also native to New Jersey. This is also called a choke cherry. So it does create berries that are about the size of small blueberries, wild blueberries. But they are very astringent, very bitter, just up until they are ready to pick. And then they are slightly sweeter. They still need to be sweetened. They're good for jam. You can add them to other berry mixes, but they will give you that sharp taste in whatever you're using them in. So don't think you're going to throw them in a smoothie and be really happy with your smoothie. They really do need to be doctored, but they are edible and they are very nutritious, full of polyphenols, but they aren't delectable out of hand. So you can know when they're really ripe and ready to go is when the stem that comes off of the berry starts to turn a dark color just like the berry. Then you know that they're as sweet as they're gonna get, and you can harvest them at that point. Down here we have lupine, which is a perennial, and it's a nitrogen fixer, and it comes back every year and it sends up these beautiful spikes of flowers that are actually more showy than the false indigo or baptisia, but they are kind of similar to those flowers. It is a nitrogen fixer, if I didn't say that already, which means that it has a relationship with nitrogen fixing bacteria that inhabit along the roots and form nodules and take nitrogen out of the air, so you don't have to apply it as fertilizer and share it with the surrounding soil and microbes and plants. So that's excellent. They did very well last year, and they reseeded all over the place. So you can see those leaves, and you can see little baby lupine coming up all around the bed. So I'm really happy about that because they are so beautiful when they start to put on a show. You can see here's more baby lupine. And then over here we have a baptisia. So this is kind of small right now. They are perennials, and they're also called false indigo because historically the settlers used the flowers to create a dye or an ink. But these are large shrubs. They die back completely to the ground every year. They're also nitrogen fixers, and they have kind of a pea-like, I think they're in the legume family because they have pea-like leaves and flowers. They do have spikes of flowers, but the flowers are more spread out along the spike. They are blue, and they just take a little while to get established. After like the third year, you'll have this nice full big shrub, but it takes a little while to get going, at least in my very sandy soil. But I've planted that as a companion to the apple because notoriously I've heard that Honeycrisp apples are kind of difficult to raise and to be happy. And because we have such sandy soil here, I really want to do everything I can to support this tree, and putting nitrogen fixing stuff nearby it, I think, is a good way to do that. And then I just have a little marigold tucked in there, and for a little splash of color. And that is my apple tree guild here at the Jersey Shore. We're in planting zone 7A, 6B, some people say. And it is in the spring here, April 27th. This is a really happy bed, and I love everything that's planted in here. Please, I'd love to hear what you think and about your comments. Please leave me a comment below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy your gardens. Grow some food if you can. Bye-bye.